In the spring of 1973, the small town of Enfield, Illinois, was just another forgotten dot on the map in White County, a place where everyone knew everyone's business, where the biggest news was usually a barn fire or a high school football game, and where the nights were so quiet you could hear the corn growing in the fields. Population barely over 700, mostly farmers and factory workers, folks who went to bed early and rose with the sun. Henry McDaniel was one of them, a 45-year-old railroad worker, married to Betty, father to two kids, Greg and little Susie. He wasn't the type to make up stories. Neighbors called him steady, reliable, the kind of man who'd help fix your tractor without asking for payment. But on the night of April 25th, 1973, something happened that changed everything, turning Enfield into a name whispered in fear across the state, drawing reporters, monster hunters, and skeptics who all wanted a piece of the nightmare. It started innocently enough. Henry was home alone that evening, Betty at bingo with friends, the kids at a sleepover, watching television in the living room of their modest ranch house on the edge of town, near the L&N railroad tracks. Around 9:30 p.m., a scratching sound came from the front door, persistent like an animal wanting in. Henry muted the TV, thinking it was a stray dog or raccoon. He grabbed his flashlight and .22 pistol, just in case, and opened the door. What stood there wasn't any animal he'd ever seen. The creature was about 5 feet tall, grayish slime-covered skin glistening under the porch light, a short body with two small arms dangling like afterthoughts, and 3 legs, yes, 3, that gave it a hopping gait. But the eyes, those pinkish red eyes glowed like flashlights, big and unblinking, staring right into Henry's soul. It hissed, a sound like air escaping a tire mixed with a cat's snarl, and Henry slammed the door, heart hammering, fumbling to lock it as the scratching resumed, moving around the house. He called the police, voice shaking, but when Sheriff Roy Pochette arrived with a deputy, the thing was gone. They found tracks though, strange prints with 6 toes, leading from the door toward the railroad tracks, then vanishing into the brush. Probably a bear or something, the sheriff said, but Henry knew better. Bears didn't have 3 legs or glowing eyes. Word spread fast in a town like Enfield. By morning, neighbors were talking, kids whispering at school, and little Greg Garrett, Henry's 10-year-old neighbor, came running home crying that afternoon, shoes torn to shreds, claiming a monster jumped on his feet in the backyard, hissing before running off. Greg described the same thing, gray, slimy, 3 legs, red eyes. The town buzzed with fear, parents keeping kids inside, farmers loading shotguns. Henry didn't sleep that night, sitting by the window with his gun. Around 3 a.m. on May 6th, neighbor dogs barked furiously, and Henry looked out to see it again, on the railroad tracks, hopping away slowly, unhurried, as if it knew he was watching. He fired 4 shots, heard a yelp like a hurt animal, but when police searched at dawn, only more strange tracks, no blood, no body. The media descended like vultures. Local papers first, then Chicago stations, even national wires. Enfield horror terrorizes town, headlines screamed. Rick Rainbow, news director from WWKI Radio in Indiana, came with a team, recording eerie shrieks near an old abandoned house, high-pitched wails that chilled the blood. They saw it too, stooped, gray, leaping incredible distances into the woods. Monster hunters arrived, armed men from out of state, patrolling nights, one group arrested for illegal hunting after gunfire reports. The sheriff warned no more vigilantes, fearing someone would shoot a person by mistake. But sightings continued. A family on the outskirts saw it near their barn, livestock acting strange, chickens found mangled with precise tears, as if clawed by something intelligent. Emotion ran high in Enfield. Families barricaded doors, churches held prayer vigils, old folks recalled native legends of swamp slobs, abominable creatures from the bottoms that rose when the land was disturbed. Henry became reluctant celebrity, interviewed repeatedly, insisting it's real, and there might be more than one. His kids scared to play outside, Betty jumping at every noise, the family bond strained by fear. Investigators like Loren Coleman arrived, linking it to other Illinois sightings, ape-like things in Murfreesboro, leaping creatures near Cairo. Theories flew: escaped kangaroo, tail mistaken for third leg, experimental animal from government lab, demon summoned by local occult rumors, even alien probe. But no evidence, no capture. The horror peaked in late May when a search party heard the whale up close, saw glowing eyes in brush, fired shots that hit nothing. Then, as suddenly as it started, sightings stopped. The monster vanished, leaving Enfield scarred. Tourism briefly spiked with curious visitors, but locals resented the circus, the fear lingering in quiet nights. Years later, Henry maintained his story till his death, tracks and whale recordings the only proof. Some say mass hysteria, others something real slipped through cracks of reality. But in Enfield, folks still lock doors tight on full moons, and children are warned, don't wander near the tracks, or the monster might call your name.